Yeah, these tires suck. Yeah, that maybe the shocks too. I can't even make it up the first step. There it goes.
It'd be nice if there was a quicker way to do that.
Huh.
Walked all the way out here with that cruise.
God, I love those silent ESCs now. Those when they first came out with the Outrunners, it was just driving my brain so insane, trying to deal with PTSD at the same time. Good Lord, it was crazy. You know what I noticed in your vids? You don't do this wall no more.
Sometimes. Something has to. Well, like I did it on the one for this guy
Yeah.
because it's the slippery sand here that you can tell that the
Gotcha.
the foams are too firm.
Right.
They're way too firm.
That vehicle's so light.
It weighs nothing. It basically, I think you could get away. It has soft. I will say that this is definitely not the vehicle to play follow the leader with, because most people aren't going to follow this.
Yeah. Okay. You know that that looked like a shark fin, that high riser for the back links.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still trying to understand what's the how do you say?
So what it's looking at is the fundamental reason that you have a link riser that big is because the link separation, the distance between the lower link and the upper link is supposed to be a direct proportion of the height of the tire.
Oh, okay.
And because these tires are so ludicrously tall, like
gotcha.
6 full inches high,
Gotcha.
you need a lot of link separation.
Okay.
If the links are too close together, the rig is going to want to pivot too easily, like flex too easily.
Yeah.
So that's basically to slow down the suspension action. Like
Gotcha.
I think the riser in the front is actually even taller.
Taller, yeah.
And it has to be taller because in the front, this thing, the rear links are like 4 times as long as the front links.
Okay.
So the front link separation isn't as critical because this thing is trying to keep its front end pretty level.
Right.
Like if I let go of the steering, it just drops back down. It's
okay.
just the motion of the servo that's causing it to lift. If it lifts, I let go, it goes
right back down. Gotcha.
And because they're big pins, we have no side lug. We have to try to maneuver just off of the main lug.
Okay.
So anytime it tries to get light like that, I don't feed it more power. This thing also has, I think it's got 20% in the gearbox.
Yeah.
This is one of those few rigs. Ordinarily 20% is about where I like to be.
Right.
But I think this thing could use more.
You know
because
what?
The 20 on this feels like 0.
Yeah. You know that on the Vanquish, this thing you have the overdrive, right? I have the servo hooked up for the overdrive, but I run with the very little overdrive because it does more worse for me or just horrible for me with more overdrive.
I have found that the usability, the versatility of the big overdrive in a Vanquish, which is like 46%.
Yeah.
It's usable not often.
Right.
Not very often. Is there no dig on this?
There is a dig, but I took it off.
You don't have it set?
Yeah, I don't have it set because I need a servo.
Where I had noticed where the big overdrive works
is
what I call big dig.
Gotcha.
So when you go to dig, you switch to the big overdrive, that thing will turn, you can turn around in the length of the vehicle. Because now the fronts are spinning very fast. And the rears aren't spinning at all.
Okay.
So you can spin it around. Now, what I've also seen on the internet is you take your gearbox apart,
right.
the VFD,
right.
And where it has the overdrive, you take the overdrive for the big overdrive,
yeah,
and you machine the teeth off the gear,
okay,
and you put a set screw through it. So now you have front dig. So then you have front dig and rear dig.
Oh.
And now this becomes useful because you can put the front end against a wall or something.
Yeah.
And then dig it and
shift
your
it
rear
over.
end
Right, right.
So what they would call a burn. So you
Have
can
you
dig and burn.
Right. Have you seen now these guys are starting to put dual motors in one transmission?
Yeah. They have a transmission for it on Amazon for like $40. I want to get one.
Really? I was thinking about that.
I want to put 2 of the little deluxe stumpy outrunners, the tiny little 380 outrunners.
Yeah.
Because it's only running one axle.
Right.
I want to build something not quite like this, probably more like the steel framed buggy.
Right.
But with the thing with 2 outrunners.
Right. That's another,
because
that's like going into another dimension.
Because with this knob, you could set it to where you have anywhere from 100% power at one end, all 100% to all 100%. You can have full dig front and rear.
Oh, so you just reverse it.
So when you do the channel mix, like what we use for cruise control, so if it's in the middle, that would be split.
Okay.
And then if you do like this,
that's the VR knob, right?
So if we're like this, it would be 50-50. You go like that, it would be all power to the front, no power to the rear.
Gotcha.
If you go like that, it's all power to the rear, no power to the front.
Gotcha.
So then you would be like, I want like 30% underdrive.
Oh, now I get it, because I still didn't understand that power. And instead of
a locking mechanism, it would be 2 motors.
Right.
So a tiny little motor is going to be enough.
Right.
Because each motor is only moving 2 tires.
Right.
Like
is it 1 motor per axle? Is that how it's working?
Yeah.
Crazy.
It's like a motor on axle, but it's a shafty version of it. I mean, so this is a Sportsman, shafty, and what this is designed to do is be as close to being a motor on axle as you can get without putting the motors on the axle.
Oh, gotcha. So they're trying to, upgrade their little world?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
So this thing's specialty, this thing's parlor trick is breakover.
Gotcha.
Because the rear links are so bent.
Oh, okay.
That when we get up to stuff, like you never have the risk of the middle of the vehicle getting hung up.
Right.
So, like I said, you pointed it where you want to go, and then you just drive over that.
We didn't even touch. Dang, that was so smooth.
It's just clear. And then because it is front weighted,
yeah,
about 63, but you can drive it backwards, just like you're driving it forward.
Is that Endura brass in the front?
No, this is all kit.
Oh, it is.
Let's see if we can go straight over it. Yeah, there we go.
Nice.
We touched a little.
Yeah, but it's still smooth. I mean, you try to get something like the Vanquish.
Well, no, I mean, yeah. That's what I say about the UA, about this thing. What I talk about sacrifices for vanity.
Yes.
You're making a sacrifice for vanity, and that your body is the body on the Phoenix is beautiful. And it's got a driver in it, and it's got a full interior, and it could have lights and a light bar and all that stuff.
Right.
Look at that thing. As
versus
a wasp and a spider had angry lovemaking. They made that thing, and all it knows how to do is stupid stuff.
Do angry stuff.
It is not pretty. I don't think.
I think it's pretty cool looking.
I mean, it looks like a spaceship.
Oh, did you hear that?
See if we can go the other way.
Easy peasy. Just a little.
I got to get a little grab. Like I said, that damn insert is just the tiniest bit too firm.
Right.
Yeah, those rears have no deflection because there's no weight
at all. Even for Dirty Richards too. Dirty Richards is deadly. I mean, deadly soft. I mean,
so
deadly.
so cheap.
Yeah.
I was like, I need to, because those tires sat in my tire drawer over there for like 4 months. I was like, what am I going to put these in? Like, how am I supposed to test these?
How do you soften foams up?
You can drill holes in them if they're firm enough. We've done it with RC four-wheel drive foams.
Really?
The thing is, these foams aren't hard.
Right, they're soft.
They're just hard relative to the vehicle that they're on.
Do you think there's probably just a lot more driving and it'll soften up even more?
That's what I think I'm just going to order another set of soft Dirty Richards.
Yeah.
And I still have a plan. I want to find out if a laser will cut tire foam.
Oh, it might catch on fire.
That's the question. Because I have a laser and I use it for all the wood burning and engraving and stuff. I want to see if I can cut foam.
I have one of those things that just slices through foam.
Yeah. If I can cut foams with a laser, then I will just go down to the craft store, buy 1.25 inch thick memory foam and literally just cut my own foams
Right.
out of it with the laser.
Right.
And you can get it as soft as you want. You can get you can get incredibly soft foam.
Nice.
So because like there should be deflection on that front tire,
Right.
and there's not. I'm getting a tiny little bit of deflection on the one rear because the other rear is hanging an inch in the air. That's how you know that they're too firm.
Right. And even though that the Dirty Richards are really soft, because that is so light.
So light.
It's not. I mean, it's really light. Those are Rhino axles, right?
It's all Rhino.
All Rhino, entire thing Rhino.
When you buy the UA1,
So it's a whole entire
I call it
kit.
a kit.
Right.
You buy the UA1 kit off of AliExpress. The only thing that on there that isn't from the kit are the wheels and tires, the body which I added, and the receiver for the radio. It comes with the servo, the motor, the speed control, the shocks, the axles.
How do you like the shocks on there?
These are the V2 Rhino shocks, and these work really well.
Very well.
They have like a little fiber wiper in there above the O-rings.
Yeah.
They don't leak.
Nice.
And they're running dual springs. I'm ordinarily not a huge fan of dual springs.
Right.
But I understand why they do it, because when you stack 2 springs, it halves the rate.
Right.
So if you have 2 2-pound springs, it makes a 1-pound spring.
Gotcha.
So it's probably cheaper to get stiffer springs. And we'll just run it. It also allows you to run a variable rate. It makes it more adjustable.
Right.
So there are points where a dual spring is usable.
Gotcha.
You put a 1-pound on the top and a 2-pound on the bottom. That's a 1.3 pound.
Right.
Come in somewhere in the middle, and it halves them both and then adds them together.
Right.
It's a 1.5. Yeah. The machining is nice. They're smooth. The Rhino V1s were a problem, but they fixed it.
Right.
So we don't have any complaints about that.
Nice.
The only questions I have about the UA1 is they put what are essentially overdrive gears in the portals.
Right.
They put 1520s in the portals, and ordinarily it's 1223s.
Right.
So it's really fast. And they put underdrive gears in, or overdrive gears in the ring and pinion as well.
Right.
So this thing is way faster than it needs to be. But somebody was telling me that in Sporties, that's how they do it. They're geared like this.
Yeah, like
that
crazy.
Real snappy acceleration.
Right. And that's why I think Josh from Harley Designs. I think that's how he started, because he used to do comps a lot. You know, he's from Kansas City, Missouri. Is he Kansas City, or he's from Missouri, or from back there somewhere? But I noticed since he went to Vanquish, they started doing a lot. I don't know about before he went to Vanquish. I don't know anything about that. But since I followed him, they started putting a lot of overdrive. A lot. And I think they're getting that from the Sporties, right?
As I said, yeah, Sporties, not uncommon, like 40% underdrive. I don't like it. I don't like that big overdrive. I think this one could benefit from maybe 30%, another 10%. Right. But in things like anything else, I like to be right around 20%. 18 to 22% is like perfect.
Yeah. I know my Toyota Tundra don't have overdrive.
the 6.5% in that doesn't do anything.
Right. It looks normal to me, and it drives normal.
Well, that means that for 16 revolutions of the front tires, the back tires rotate 15.
Right. Right.
You can't tell a 16th of a revolution.
Right.
This is 20%. Which for most vehicles is enough, and I think why it's not enough for this actually just popped into my head. The tires are 6 inches tall.
Oh, it's bigger.
It's just so much bigger.
Have you seen them guys that run those sporty chassis? How big them look like bicycle tires.
Oh, they with the they want to minimize the sidewall because they don't want the
and it's getting only like 10-speed tires.
The guy in Sweden that does 3D printing, he prints out a lot of inserts for these type of guys. Yeah. And the inserts, he said that the outer skin of the 3D printed insert he did, they were 0.3 millimeters thick. Wow. To get them that soft because there's no weight.
Right.
They're so light.
Are you gonna get some of those to try on that one?
I'm gonna see if I can talk to him.
Gotcha.
Winter's coming for Sweden. He won't have anything better to do.
Oh, I remember when I first got my Gen 8 Axe, and it had those what are those foams called? Those during the winter you can't run them because they're turned to ice rock. I got all happy, got out there to the lake, and it was so cold. I was like, why are my tires like rocks?
Some guy in the Midwest said that his only complaint about J Concept's green compound is that when he tries to drive it in the winter, the tires freeze and they get all like misshapen and weird.
Yes.
And he goes, I guess I can't really hold that against the tire though. I go, not really. I don't hold it against tires when they can't handle out here when it's 115.
Right,
I mean,
right.
Rubber has there's a real range that it works.
Right.
And we're asking tires to do very grippy, grabby things.
And I know you noticed too, on especially like, okay, Pro Lines, G8, and their Predator. I don't know about the Predator, but I know the G8, the compound of that thing's changed.
Oh,
the tires changed.
Big time. Yeah.
I still have the original G8 tires.
I have some.
And they still go.
I have some original G8 when they first came out with G8.
Yes.
The flat iron non-XL.
Yeah, I still have those too.
The little class 1 flat
Yes,
irons.
yes.
They grip completely differently from modern G8.
Yeah.
Something changed.
Yeah, yeah. And and it's like, because that's my favorite, was the G8. That was my favorite. And if you notice now, my G8 used to be able to do a lot of stuff, and now I don't know, it's changed.
No, that's not perception. That they have. People, man, they love crawlers. So many people love crawlers.
Yeah.
that particular tire, like even if they're not Proline guys, people love those.
I think a lot of it too is dealing with the scale.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because when I first got into this, first tires I bought was those crawler tires, and because of back in the day, our family, we used to have off-road vehicles in the islands, and it's all we did. Okay, and the tires were good at the G8 compound, but now I'm driving it, it's just like, and these are already got weather crack on it, and I just got these tires.
Yeah, I have some tires dry rotting out pretty bad, and they've been sitting on a shelf for most of the while.
Right.
Like I say, there's 40 some odd vehicles in the fleet now, and I think we have 4 on tires.
Right. Yeah.
Not even 10%.
Right.
There's a lot of J Concepts in there. Yeah, that was why weird. Curtis says that he has not bought J Concepts.
I haven't had any J Concept yet either. This will be my first my next purchase.
Oh, I'm running over the tractor. I was like, what is that clanging? I forgot there's a plastic tractor and I just drove over the top of it.
Oh, Lord.